So,
Hello, and welcome to Corks and Cauldron, where two friends uncork a bottle, cast a few spells, and dive deep into fantasy books and theories. I'm Gabby.
and I'm Jen. Quick disclaimer, this is an adult podcast about adult books. So, expect some spicy language, spicy content, and spicy spoilers. And we actually have spicy content this time.
We finally, watch out for those little listening ears. Yeah, it'll be a good one. But with that spicy content, let's go ahead and pour a drink, grab a snack, and get started. Today we are covering chapters 38 through 46 in Glow from the Plated Prisoner series. So, Jen, what food are we eating today?
Okay, so this episode talks a lot about timberwings, and I don't know why,
Terrifying.
but talking about timberwings made me think about chicken wings.
Well, wings.
Yeah, it's probably the
Yeah,
wings part.
yeah.
So, I have a really basic recipe for air fryer chicken wings that this is the most basic of basic recipes, and you can adjust it as you see fit because you're gonna be like, "Really? That's it?" I promise, it's really good.
Yeah, I mean, all you have for seasonings listed is salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Oh.
That's it. So, you take 2 pounds of wings. They can either be frozen or thawed. I like them thawed. It's personal preference, whatever. But make sure you're gonna pat these dry with a paper towel, like, lay them out in a single
Yeah,
layer, pat them dry with a paper towel because 'cause you're gonna want them not super wet. Then toss them into a large bowl and put all of the ingredients after that on there, and those ingredients are about a tablespoon of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of baking powder. You could also use cornstarch, either one's gonna work just fine for this, but I use baking powder. I think it's because this was a keto recipe
that makes sense.
originally, and
Yeah.
cornstarch has carbs, whatever.
Oh, carbs are so bad.
And then salt and pepper to taste. So the actual recipe called for like 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 of a teaspoon of pepper because God knows you don't want it too spicy.
Your wings can't be too hot.
But I don't work that way. I just kind of do it and, I've got the
Grinders
spinning grinders, so I just kind of do it until it feels good.
until the ancestors whisper stop.
Exactly.
Yep.
And then you just kinda toss everything on the wings. Lay them in a single layer in your air fryer. So you might have to do this in batches. With our air fryer, we have to do this in batches.
Yeah.
But you start it off on 250 for about 15 minutes, and then when it goes off, you flip the wings, and then you cook them for another 15 to 20 minutes at the highest setting you can go. On mine, it's 430,
Okay.
and that makes them crispy, and they're really good, and they're yummy.
Sure. Who doesn't
We
like yummy?
We have also substituted lemon pepper in. We
Mm,
have a couple of different poultry seasonings. One's a rosemary fancy one, and the other one's Memphis barbecue sweet smoky one
okay.
that we use instead.
Yeah.
So, whatever you wanna put in there, use, and I'll sometimes cover the wings with sauce. John is a naked wing guy. I
Mm,
I am not.
like I'm saucy.
I like a little sauce or at least something to dip them in.
Yeah.
So, we do a lot of honey mustard.
You know
I
who
know
has,
we're in the Midwest and we should be doing ranch. I understand that.
but sometimes you want something different. Do you know who
Sometimes
has
you want something
really good
different.
honey mustard?
Whataburger.
I was gonna say Fat Boys Barbecue. They're out in, like, Hickman?
Yes,
Yeah.
I've gotten their seasonings before. I have a lot of their seasonings up in the cupboard,
Yeah.
but I don't think I've ever had their honey mustard.
Their honey
I'll have to
mustard
try
is
that.
really good. They make it with, like, an apple cider vinegar, so it's got a little bit of a
Mhm.
sweeter taste to it. I don't know.
Okay.
It's my favorite honey mustard. So,
Their Bloody Mary mix is really good too.
it's so good. It's so good.
And in case anybody else wants to know, we'll just toss that in the show notes. It's fine. Because if you want really good rubs and stuff, these guys are
Mhm.
amazing.
And they're local to Nebraska.
Yes.
So,
Anyway, now that I've told you all about my wings that are keto and tasty, what are we drinking?
we are drinking Imagery Chardonnay.
Oh, it looks like it's chilled this time.
It is chilled this time because
I'm
I
so
bought
proud
it
of you.
at the same time that I bought the last bottle. Yeah, and I picked this bottle because we are getting into some spicy scenes that have a lot of really good imagery in them.
Yes, they do.
So, yeah. I'm a little nervous because I am not a big Chardonnay fan. I feel like it's usually really, like, buttery, and I don't want my
I
wine to be buttery.
That made me twitch.
Yeah.
And maybe I should have done, buffalo wings, buffalo sauce. I
You
don't like
forgot
buffalo
buffalo
sauce.
sauce?
You know what? You know what? I did actually because I don't use buffalo
You're
sauce,
not even drinking.
and I'm not drinking, but I don't do buffalo sauce.
Mm.
I just don't like it. Don't tell my friends, they'll break up with me.
I'm a garlic parm wing girly myself.
Fair.
Yeah. But speaking of winged girlies, let's jump in.
Yes,
That was such a stretch. That was a terrible
that was so
segue.
bad. It's okay. Let's just jump in and just try and save ourselves. We're gonna start with chapter 38, guys.
And guess
This
whose
is
POV it is?
Orin's.
It is. Chapters 38 through 43 are all Orin.
Wow, this is a long orange stretch for us. That's
Yep.
okay,
Yeah. And
'cause
then
we still get to hear Slade's voice if you're listening to Audible, guys.
I I want to like Slade's voice. I do. I want to. And I like it better than Riot's voice.
Okay. Is it just his voice that you don't like?
What do you mean?
I don't know what I
Like the
mean.
voice actor's voice that I don't
Yes.
like? I don't even know who the voice actor is. All right. Anyway, chapter 38. Um, Orin and Slade are in the middle of some deep talks. We as readers learned from his memory about why he got the nickname Rip, and his dick of a dad, Stan, can suck it,
And how Riot is not his full brother, but his half brother,
and is full human,
is full human.
Orion. I don't know. Saying human just feels
Human?
derogatory.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, but it kind of
but
is
but he
what it
is, right.
is.
I
He's
know.
human.
I know, I know. Give me another glass of wine and I'll change my mind, so
Okay. But we're opening with Oren's reaction really
yeah.
to this whole story that he's laid out because what we've been reading is flashbacks over the
Mhm.
course of this book. Oren got in one fell swoop.
And she's still struggling with dealing with her own trauma and
Mhm.
everything that happened, and, like,
And by the way, my mother's here and she doesn't speak.
she met Mama Slade, and
Mhm.
it's yeah, she has been through a lot, she is continuing to go through a lot, and she is handling it so much better than I would. I think I'd be
I
curled up on a floor.
I think that my head would just be kind of tilted and I just would not. I don't do well with emotional things,
Yeah.
like, especially highly charged emotional stuff.
Is
Tends to
that why
make
you didn't like this book? This book is a lot of emotions.
might be, but I tend to make just inappropriate, awkward comments and jokes in
Yeah.
these situations, so I don't think that I would have been the right person for him to give this story to.
Jen, do you know how many the first time I went to a funeral that was not family and I laughed, people looked at me so weird. But, like, in my family, we get together for funerals and, like, that's the only time we see each other, so it's a lot of, like, telling funny stories about someone or catching up with the grandkids or what it's an excuse for a potluck is really what a funeral is. Like, "Yep, grandma
Oh,
died, so break out the funeral potatoes and let's catch up." Yeah, so the moral of my story is I also make things really weird and emotional and, like,
fair.
inappropriate comments, and my dark humor is a load-bearing personality trait for sure.
Okay.
Uh, so yes, Slade and Orin are healing together
Yes.
is I think what the point that Raven was trying to get through here is that it's
Mhm.
just healing is not gonna be linear, it's not gonna be you have to do X, Y, and Z, there's 7 steps to, what am I trying to say?
Healing?
Yeah,
Yes. Denial,
grieving, yeah,
grieving, yeah.
yeah, but
Wow,
that doesn't
we are so detached that neither one of us even know what those 7 steps are. Go team.
therapy for those things. Anyway, yeah, they end up going back to the spa, like,
Yeah, she calls him Rip, like, that's the first thing she says.
yeah. So she acknowledges the nickname. That's the first time I think she's actually acknowledged the nickname, isn't it?
I think so. And then she starts taking him back, and he thinks they're going back to the grotto, and then she redirects him.
Mhm.
They're not talking at this
Nope.
point. She's just guiding him, and she takes him back to the sulfur springs, and he's like, "What?" And then she starts stripping, and he stops talking because
He stops talking
he's
and stops thinking.
yeah, that's usually what happens for him when Oren is standing there, nude.
Yeah. And
But
she does it, like,
well
in a very slow I don't wanna say methodical, but
mhm,
teasing, and she is a saddle, so she knows how to work her body, but she's been a very sheltered saddle,
Yeah.
right? So, yeah.
She leaves her shirt on because she wants him to see her fully, but she's giving him the chance to not have to, I think, and he comes up behind her. Oh, she does take off his coat because, well, it's pretty humid and
Well, it's
warm
a hot
in this
spring.
area.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but he unbuttons her shirt because it's still one of Osric's shirts and it's buttoned in the back, and he kisses his way down her scars, which is, like, super sweet.
Super sweet. Like, I melted a little bit reading that.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
whatever, I
I
did too.
I don't know if I would if I'm getting that emotional, the last thing I wanna do is bang one out, but everyone handles it differently, so I'm
Right?
not judging.
Makes her cry a little.
Well, it's that's he does it in a very, like, tender and sweet and, like, acknowledging way,
Mhm.
and I know that sounds weird to say, but that's the best way I can think to say it.
I mean, it really is. And then after he kisses all the way down her and she takes the shirt off, she turns around and unties the laces of his pants. I have trouble with the whole pants and laces thing. I'm sorry. I guess
Can you imagine being drunk and having to fumble with laces?
I no,
Like, I struggle with
no.
a zipper sometimes.
Yeah. This is why people wear leggings. They don't have to
Yes,
worry about that.
you just slide them off. Yep.
Exactly. So she unlaces his pants and helps him take them off. So both of them are now completely nude.
Mhm.
And she drops to her knees in front of him,
Yep.
and for the first time no, it's for the first time,
Mhm. Because
she
he
gives
went
him oral
down on
sex.
yeah, he went down on her in the camp. She's never gone down on him.
Yeah.
And there is a line
Oh,
in
yes, I
here.
love this line.
Yes, I gotta find it. I have it highlighted. I don't know if I have it in my notes, but you know what line I'm talking about.
I do. "With the right person, there is power when you kneel. There is adoration with submission. There is balance with control."
Yes.
Let me guess,
Yes.
is that the line? Because that's the line that I have highlighted.
That's the line. Yes. And so, again, this is the first time that Oren's gone down on him, right? And then they essentially draw their boundaries
Mhm.
right there, right? Oren says, "Fuck my mouth." And Slade says, "Tap me if you need a break." And so,
Yep.
like, they're setting up their safety nets around each other and, like, what they expect and not. But
Mhm.
the way that the smut is written, I think is written really well.
I agree.
And I know, like, some of the smut can be a little cringy sometimes in these,
Yeah,
trust
yep.
me, I know, but I do think this one was written really well.
I like the way that she writes all of it. I mean,
Mhm.
even the parts that were cringy at the beginning,
I think
but
she
those were
wrote
only cringy for me because of who they were with,
I almost think
and
she wrote them to be cringy
it
on
was
purpose.
intentional. I
Yeah.
agree.
Like, she did not want us to get attached to Midas, even though I swear Midas would change. I could change him.
You can de-gildify him first?
I
Just
could melt
curious.
I could melt him down, I guess.
For coin, but they go from oral sex to he stops and she stands up and they decide to have sex in the hot spring.
Yeah,
There are some really cool shelves in this hot spring, by the way.
it's a hot tub. It's a hot tub that's natural.
Yes,
Yeah, like, it's got the seats built in and yeah, it's a hot tub. They have sex in a hot tub,
yes.
which
That smells like rotten eggs,
is disgusting.
which is the only downside of it.
Yes, but there's a lot of autonomy in this one. There
Mhm.
is a lot of devotion, feels like a heavy word, but, like, you can feel that they respect each other.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's, her back to his front, so her scars are still there, so he's kissing them again while they're having sex, and when they finish and he turns her around and sets her on his lap and they're just sitting there
The
all
aftercare.
aftercare,
Yep.
she finally admits and realizes that this is actually what love is.
Which is such a big moment for her, and, like, if I were her, I would be all up in my head and being like, "I don't know what love is. This is completely different from Midas, but is he controlling me in a different way?" You know what I mean? Like, I would
Yes.
just be spiraling, and so I'm impressed that she's not. Not that she hasn't spiraled and not that we won't
Oh,
see
she's
a
had
little.
plenty of that.
Yeah, and I think we'll even see a little bit more later on, but I'm just saying the girl's allowed to spiral a little bit.
Agreed.
She's got a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. But she tells him, this is what love is, isn't it?" And he just lets her know, "Yep. Yes, it is." It's such a tender moment.
It is. And it's the moment that, like, anytime I talk to, like, my younger cousins who are,
Uh-huh.
like, dating someone for the first time and, like, they're so in love, I just kinda wanna be like, "You can't read this book because you're, like, 14, and God, no, you're not ready for this book. You need to know what love is because it's not this boy that you had to keep chasing down
Right.
and beg for him to text you back."
Yeah.
Yeah. But we've all been 14. Granted, you had to wait for the messenger hawk to come to you, right? Or the smoke
The
signals to get sent
pigeons.
ba yeah, yep,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
um, this chapter is just such a huge contrast, though, compared to Oren's experience with Midas
Mhm.
and Slade. So, like, Midas would cuddle before, and, like, it was still very detached. As readers, it felt very detached when they
It was, like, obligatory. It wasn't
coupled. Yeah, it felt clinical, cold, I don't know, like, it
it
just
was
and
gross, guys. I'm
I'm
sorry.
sure Raven did it on purpose that way, so we didn't get too attached to Midas,
I
but
appreciate the way that she did it because if you weren't really paying attention, you really were like, "Oh, they love each other so much." And then later on, you're like, "Huh,
maybe not.
maybe not so much." Yeah.
Yeah. Anything
We
else you
should
wanna
send her a fruit basket or something.
we should send her bottle of wine and our therapy bill. Anything else you wanna chat about for 38? 38 was just a lot of banging and aftercare.
And it kind of explains her
It does.
realization that his explanation of what happened that caused him to rip the world and what's happened since then have created the man she sees before him,
Yeah.
the super in control, always needing to know everything but keeping secrets
Yep. Which
man,
is
and she
exactly
has
like what Midas was, but he's again, we talked about how Slade was a little bit different and, like, yes, he needs to be in control, but he still, like, delegates when he
yes.
needs to, and he just wants high level of what's going on,
Mhm.
like, I need to know that way in case someone attacks me, I know what to defend, I don't need to know everything, I just need to know some things.
Yeah.
So,
So then chapter 39 is after an entire night of this. They made love 2 more times. He woke her up in the middle of the night, going down on her, but she wakes up in the bed alone.
which okay, after having sex 3 times, getting woken
Yeah,
up in the middle of the night, and waking up alone, I'd be a little bit like,
but she's kind of used to it because that's how they've been sleeping.
well, because she had a completely opposite schedule. She was
Yeah.
sleeping during the day and awake at night.
She was like that 3rd shift girlfriend. Yeah.
Oh god, I've been that 3rd shift girlfriend. It
Yeah.
sucks.
I was
Well, like,
that 3rd shift wife for a long
yeah,
time, so
that's
yeah.
how we met, so
But she wakes up and she kind of checks the clock and realizes that it's a lot earlier than she thought it was, but she still gets up
yeah. Well, her
'cause
she's
she's
hungry.
hungry,
That's, like, the only reason I get out of bed some days.
and she starts to go into the kitchen area and hears everybody talking, and it sounds serious. So what do you do when it's a serious talk? You eavesdrop.
Absolutely, you're not gonna barge in. You're gonna eavesdrop, especially look at her history. I know I keep
Yeah,
bringing
I
it up,
know.
but look at her history, like, every time she starts to trust someone or trust a man especially, it comes back to bite her.
It does.
So, I do not blame her for eavesdropping at
I don't
all.
either. So Warren's sitting there eavesdropping. Riot comes in the front door
Fucking
and
riot.
completely misses her. He doesn't even notice her, which means he's upset
Mhm.
and goes, "Is it true?"
Is what true? Is what true, riot?
Well, Warren doesn't know, but she finally walks out and is like, "Hey, what's going on?"
"Sup, guys?"
And there's a letter in the middle of the table. It looks like everybody's read it. And by the way, everybody is Judd, Lou,
Digby.
Hojat,
Yep.
Digby, Slade.
Literally everybody except everybody in the grotto except Orin.
Yep. And they're like, "Oh, huh, we got caught." So in
Well,
order to deflect from that, Judd being Judd goes, "I heard you finally realized why we call him Rip," and then starts to make jokes about the other rumors that they spread, he and
fart
Lou,
jokes.
kind
He
of
makes
back and
fart
forth.
jokes.
Well, they do the ripping people's heads off,
Mhm.
abs.
Yep.
because he's ripped,
Yep.
and then when he starts the ripping farts, Slade shuts it down.
No humor.
But that's when they let her read the letter, or at least tell her what's going on. Slade tells Oren that they've been
About the
getting these
conflicts.
letters, and
Yep.
it's not just one letter. He pulls a bunch out of his pockets.
There's 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot.
Some of them are that the other kings and queens are inviting Oren to a royal conflux
So that's
for
like a
a trial.
subpoena, right? Like, she's being subpoenaed, essentially. Yeah.
They want her to be tried for Midas's death. They're accusing her of seducing Slade, and other letters are that shipments that are supposed to be coming into the Fourth Kingdom are not coming in because the Third Kingdom has stopped sending ships.
Everything. Yeah.
The Third Kingdom, the Second Kingdom, and the First Kingdom.
So as a reminder, the 4th kingdom is basically a swampland. Like,
Yes.
they can grow some, but it is
There's
not
a little bit of farmland, but it's mostly
marsh, maybe is a better word for it.
Louisiana,
Yeah. That's kind of the
well,
vibe I got. Yeah.
or the wetlands in Florida.
Well, even,
It's
like,
kind of
the Carolinas have some, like,
yeah,
wetlands too. So it's forestry.
and
It's
what isn't that is rotted because
because
it's gotta go somewhere,
being rot.
and I
Yeah.
think that if I remember right, the whole perimeter of the Fourth Kingdom
Yep.
is rotted,
Yep.
which the Fourth Kingdom's army gets to walk through later. They're so lucky.
Aren't they lucky?
Yeah, we'll get that from Osric's point of view, later in the book,
Yeah. I don't think we get him in no, we don't get him in this chapter, this episode.
but
So the 4th kingdom is swamp, and then 2nd and 3rd are essentially farmland. I mean, they have different crops that they send over.
well, second's desert, but they have stuff that they were able to send them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what would be helpful from a
First
desert.
Kingdom and Third Kingdom. Second Kingdom, I don't know what Second Kingdom sends them. I know that they send a lot of oil to Second and First Kingdom
Yeah,
from Fourth
from
Kingdom
4th
because
kingdom.
they have
4th
gems,
kingdom,
oil
gems and oil is
are
basically
their
what they have.
big
Yeah.
exports. So, but the shipments didn't come in that were supposed to go to Drawler Village and supposed to be at the edge of Fourth and Fifth Kingdom so that when the army gets there, who's been out for months, they
And
can
marching
resupply
and hightailing it from
Fifth Kingdom,
8th kingdom back to 4th.
right? They've
But,
got a
like,
lot of steps in y'all.
looking at the map, it's these countries are
Big,
vast. These
yeah.
kingdoms are big. It would be
It's not
like
like Rhode Island, guys. It's like
no.
Texas
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, about the size of Ireland, but I think even Ireland is too small because you can drive across Ireland in 8 hours.
So that's like Rhode Island. Oh, no, that's not true. Rhode Island
No.
is like 2.
Right, yeah. But 8 hours would be about the size of Nebraska because you go from Lincoln to Colorado in about 8 hours.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
So, but they've been walking a lot, and, turns out that their shipment did not come in, and that is what Riot is angry about because part of that shipment was supposed to come to Drawler Village.
Well, Jollard Village and Riot is essentially in charge of the soldiers, right? Because he plays Commander Rip when Commander
Mhm.
Rip has to play King Rod.
Yes.
So, like, Riot has a lot of strong feelings in regards to keeping the soldiers happy and healthy and fit and taken care of. Not that Slade doesn't,
Why
right?
would you wanna take care of your army? That's crazy talk.
Slade also wants to take care of his army. Slade just is a little bit further removed.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
if
I
that's the
can agree
right
with
way to
that.
say that, but it's okay, so Riot is like the team lead, right? And Slade is like the director or the president.
There you go.
He's
Okay,
just
okay.
he's like it's not that he doesn't care about them, he's just a little bit further removed and has to look at things from a higher scope.
So, everybody starts, arguing and stuff, and
Yeah.
Lou, I love Lou, has one of the best lines in this book, in this chapter.
I want this line tattooed on me somewhere, probably, like, on my ass cheek or something.
It's fantastic. She looks at all of them, and she finally says, "Tuck your dicks in and think rationally, like a woman."
And she says that as, like, everyone is, like, talking over each other and arguing and, like, trying to figure out what to do and how to handle all of this.
Mhm.
And then Lou just drops that gem, just the perfect line.
And it cuts off all the conversation.
Yeah.
And she starts pointing at people and telling them what to do. And she gets to, like, Hojat, and she's like, "You are doing fantastic, just keep doing you." And she does the same thing to Digby, but Riot and Judd
Judd and
and
Slade.
Slade,
And even doesn't Orin get a little bit of a
she
"get your
does.
shit together"?
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, she tells Orin, "You don't have to be ready, but you do have to begin." Like,
Yeah.
you need to start getting your shit together.
Yeah.
You need to you cannot stay here forever. You cannot stay in this time and place forever. You're going to have to move forward.
But this
Anyway,
makes Slade wake up a little
yeah.
bit too.
And Slade, I think Slade keeps Lou around for that reason, right? Because Lou
Oh,
is
yeah.
always dropping bombs like that and just always, I don't wanna say taking control, but taking control of the situation maybe.
Redirecting everybody for sure.
Yes, yes.
Getting them back on track.
Mhm. And I'm not gonna say that it's always a woman that does that, but, like, okay, you guys have to
Alright.
watch watch the video so you can see her face.
That needs to be real. But he does finally say, "Maybe I need to remind them of why
No
no
one
one
fucks.
fucks with King Rot."
Yep, yep, and I love that.
It was a good line.
It was a good line because we don't really like, we know Slade and we know Rip, but we don't really know King Rot, right?
Correct.
All we know is the rumors, and we know King Rot from early Oren's POV,
Yeah,
when she was
exactly.
terrified
When
of
she was
him.
terrified of him.
Yeah, and not knowing what we know, right, I would think Oren would be it would be hard for her to reconcile King Rot versus Slade versus Rip,
Mhm,
even now with everything. Like, I think she would still have a little bit of a PTSD moment with
mhm.
that, and that is
It
that's not
is.
it's not a bad thing, it's just the truth.
Well, and Riot is in this, like, jumping down Slade's throat,
Riot
which
is
is
being a
what
little
causes
brother.
Lou
Yeah,
to even snap in the first place. Because Riot's like, "You need to go be a king. You've hidden here long enough."
yeah,
And Slade keeps going, "We'll go when she's ready. We'll go when she's ready. We're talking about Orin,"
yeah.
which is why Lou is like, "Ma'am."
"We're holding up the whole world for you. You need to
Yeah,
be ready." Which Oren does vocalize, Oren does acknowledge, "I'm holding you up,"
yeah.
which is also big of her to acknowledge. I know a lot of people who would never say that out loud.
Mhm.
I respect that it took her this long to get to that point. I am a little frustrated with it.
I was very frustrated with it. I really appreciated Lou finally going, You just need to start,"
Yeah,
because the whole beginning of this book was about avoidance. I mean, yes, it was a lot of learning Slade's backstory
yep,
and learning about Slade, and yes, we got the story of,
Carneth.
Carneth finally, but all of that was just stuff so that Orin could avoid facing what she needed to face,
Yeah, I
which is
know.
just why and I'm frustrated with her because I did the same thing for so long,
See, and that's
and
why I empathize with her. I'm like,
fucking
I've done that too,
it's like
so
it's like looking in a mirror, the things that a lot of times the things that you don't like about other people
are the things you don't
are the
like about
things that you don't like
yourself.
about yourself.
Yeah,
I mean, there are exceptions to that, of course,
sure. It's a guideline, not a rule. But
but, like, the little things that irritate you, you're like, "Oh, I hate it when they do that." That's because you do it too, bitch. Looking in the mirror here, talking to myself. You do it too.
it's
That's why you
fine.
can't stand it. Just get used to it. Or you know what? Grow the fuck up. Yes, this
2
is a conversation
options.
I've had in the mirror with myself. Sorry. Sorry, sorry, sorry.
To be
But
fair, Jen, it's a conversation you've had with me too.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know what? But
What?
that's why I appreciate our friendship
Yeah.
because we are the lose in each other's world. We're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna support each other, but also you need to get your shit together. How can I help you? You need to
Yeah.
get your shit together.
Yeah. And then we moved to chapter 40 because the last sentence in this was about rotting.
Maybe I need to remind them why no one fucks with King Rot.
Yes, that was the last sentence in that chapter.
Raven has a great knack for ending chapters on a sentence where you're like, "Well, now I have to keep fucking reading. It's 2 o'clock in the morning and I work tomorrow, but whatever."
Whatever, it's fine.
Okay, chapter 40.
So this is the next day.
And Oren is finally like, so she's been around kings for the past 10 years,
Mhm.
right? Between Midas and his showing her off and all of
Yes.
that stuff. She's been around kings and powerful men, but she's never really been like involved in the politics
No,
or
she's
like
just kind of
included. Yeah,
sat there and looked pretty and played her harp.
which is what she was told to do. So we cannot blame her for that.
Nope. I'm just commenting that that's what her job was in Midas's world.
Yes,
So when Slade and everyone else starts talking to her and actually asking her opinion.
her opinion, and they ask her questions.
Mhm.
So they ask her opinion on like, what do you think Queen Kalaya is going to do about X, Y, and Z? Or what do you think Second Kingdom is going to do about this? Or what do you think
Mhm.
blah, blah, blah? She's like, I have never been asked this. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't want to give you wrong information. And she just kind of freezes a little bit.
And she is mush by the end of the night.
Yes.
Done. If you've never had your brain feel like mush, then I am very jealous of you because I hate it.
But yeah, so she's actually her opinions are valued, her thoughts
Mhm.
are valued. They may not, like, go with her ideas, but she's heard, and it's the first time she's ever been heard, and it's a it's another stark contrast between how Midas ran things versus how Rip runs things,
Mhm.
right? Like, Midas was, "I control everything, I do not delegate, I am the key holder for all," and Rip is like, "Well, I'm the key holder, but, like,
"Hey,
I
does
don't
somebody want a
know
spare?"
everything." Like, Rip is who I strive to be as a team lead in my job. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay out of your way. Let me know if you need me to rot someone, I'll do that, but until then, I'm just gonna stay out of
So after
um,
a night of nightmares
yeah,
on Oren's part, she wakes up really early in the morning and has just given up because I think her last nightmare was something about Queen Kyla trying to arrest her and her accidentally gilding Drawlard Village. And that was it for her. She was done, you
yeah.
know?
Well,
It
I
was fun
mean,
trying to sleep, but now that I've murdered everyone that Rip holds dear,
Rip
uh,
and Riot hold dear, and, like, the whole Wrath, honestly. Like, okay, so the Wrath is probably not as invested
invested.
as in Jollard Village as Rip and Riot, but they know what it means to the boys, and so
Yes.
they respect that.
And that's home for them. You can
That's true.
tell
Yeah,
just
that's
by,
like
like,
their
loose
loose
slippers. Everybody has their own bedroom
and they have
with an
clothes there.
ensuite. There's
Yep.
clothes there. There are, water marks on the tables
Uh, yeah,
from them not using coasters,
coasters. Yep.
but being up all night drinking and talking.
Yeah. This
So, this
it's
is
like the frat
comfy home.
house.
Yeah.
It's the home away from home, though. It's because they all like, they all have rooms in the castle as
Yeah,
well.
at Brackhill.
Yeah, but this is, like, kinda I think this would be the equivalent of Akatar's cabin, right?
Yes,
Where they kinda go just to decompress and just to get away from things for a minute and just pretend maybe that they're not super important,
yes.
and then as they drink, I'm sure they talk about the important things because that always happens, right?
Mhm.
You get a group of friends together and you talk about what you have in common, and it's, "Well, this is what we're thinking about." Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, she gets dressed, makes sure Slade's still asleep, and sneaks out of the house and starts heading up to the sex cave.
No, that's
Yep.
an accurate name for it.
What?
Yep, that's what it is. Yep. I was gonna
That's
call
what
it
it is.
I was gonna call it the Sin Cave,
Oh,
but
that works
either
too.
one works, yeah.
It's the cave that
She
Slade took her
initially
to originally when
well,
she
that's
was
where she would
leaking.
yeah, initially woke up. Uh,
Yes.
yeah.
So, it's where all of her gold is, and she has decided that she's no longer gonna be scared of her gold, she's going to master this power. She does something she makes a comparison of, "If Slade could do it when I was 8, when he was 8, I can do it now."
Yep.
I don't know that I would make a comparison like that because
Slade at 8, yeah,
yeah, but
and Stanton, and I
yeah,
I can see where she's coming from. It's no different than us looking at social media and being like,
well, this person's the same age I am, and they have all of this.
yeah, they have a giant house and new cars and the newest technology, and as an unmarried woman in my 30s, I like to bring up every time someone on my Facebook gets engaged just to bring it up, you
Uh-huh.
know? Yes. But so is there a timberwing in the cave?
Yeah, Argan.
Is just chilling?
Is it Argan? Argo.
Argo,
Argo is just kinda hiding in the cave,
hanging out. I think he
and
wanted out of the roost. I think he wanted some alone time.
Orin interrupts his alone time, and he scares the crap out of her. She's like, "You need to leave because I'm gonna try and practice my gold working, and I don't wanna accidentally gild you,
You need to get the
and
fuck
I
out.
don't want you to eat my face." And I love that Argo's just like, "Huh, uh-huh, yeah." He just kind of ignores her, which is what animals do. If you have a cat or a dog
Yeah,
and they're not a super cuddly dog or cat, well, most cats aren't, but my dog will sometimes just look at me like I'm stupid. She has a lot of judgment. She does sit outside and make sure that I'm safe
sure. She
because
cares about you.
chihuahuas have to do that,
Yeah.
apparently. But if I try and give her any kind of love, she's like, "No. Why are you even touching me? I don't know."
Buddy will let me cuddle him for approximately 5 seconds before he
Yeah,
gives a
and then
really, like,
done.
deep sigh and then jumps off the couch and, like, runs away from me.
That's that's Zelda.
Okay, so maybe it's a small dog thing. They
It
don't
could
have
be.
room in their hearts for love. Just rage.
But Argo is basically just kind of picking on her, and she's trying to get him to leave, but she's like, "Fine. If you get gilded while I'm practicing, it is on you, not me."
I warned you. I did what I could.
And so it's kinda nice that he's there so that she can talk out loud and not feel super crazy
Yep. Yeah.
because she's talking to him, not
Herself.
herself,
Yeah.
but she has to walk herself through why she can't use the gold.
She has to acknowledge that she's still afraid of it
Mhm.
and that she still
Afraid of
hasn't embraced it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she has to embrace her face side, which is part of the problem,
Well, she
and
doesn't feel like she can control her Bayside, so
there's a moment where she's looking into the gold and seeing her reflection, and she talks about how her reflection is, how does she say it? Sharper?
yeah,
Like,
it's just
everything's more angular, and it makes
yeah,
her look more fey,
yep.
so it's like she's staring at her fey side.
'Cause remember, she doesn't, like, shift forms
No,
the
she
way
doesn't.
that Rip does or the way that, like, Selena from Throne of Glass does,
Right.
or she like, when she talks about embracing her Bayside, she feels like a beast inside of her chest is what she's referring to, and
And
so
she
yeah,
actually compares Argo
mhm, to
to
the
the beast
beast.
in her chest,
Yep.
which I think kind of helps her relax.
Like, "Oh, you're no different than what I have inside me, so"
Yeah.
yeah.
And finally, she's able to take control
Mhm.
and unblock her power, because that's what's happening, is her
There's a
fear is
mental
blocking
block.
herself.
Yeah, and she starts gilding like Oprah, just, "You get gilded, and you get gilded, and you get gilded," and she just gilds everything in the cave,
And she's able to take it back.
mhm, yeah, and then when she thinks she's alone, she's never alone.
Well, because Arco's sitting there with her, of course she's not alone.
And also, Slade pops up and is just like, "Well done, Goldfinch. I knew you could do it." Because he is the
Claps
supportive
for her.
boyfriend.
He claps for her.
He does. And it's such a supportive boyfriend move on his part. Like, he
He's so
doesn't
stealthy too.
he celebrates her without making it weird. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and you could tell that he, like, rushed to follow her, but respect her distance because he's
Mhm.
like his boots are unlaced and his clothes are all wrinkled, so, like, he grabbed what was close.
He doesn't even have a coat on.
He doesn't even have a coat on, and it's fucking Drollard Village, so it's always
It's
fucking
fucking
snowing.
freezing.
Yeah, and he is so proud of her,
Yes.
and I yeah, I okay. this whole episode has been a lot about my therapy, and I'm so sorry. But, like, I feel like as a society, we should tell people more often that we're proud of them. You know, like, we try to save it for the big moments, but sometimes, like, getting out of bed when you've had a terrible day, that is a big moment. Like, or facing a fear that you've always kind of avoided, that is a big moment, and people should celebrate that. And we don't celebrate anything unless it brings in a monetary value, and I'm so sick of capitalism.
I don't know what you're trying to say.
I think I summed it up great at that last sentence. Anyway, anything else we wanna chat about in chapter 40?
I like Argo.
I know you do.
Okay.
Argo freaks me out.
Okay. So, chapter 41. Cue the ace training montage from every ye
Every 80s
80s.
sports movie
Yes.
ever.
Rocky, the Karate Kid.
Yep. This is also still Oren's POV, BT dubs. All of these have been Oren's POV.
All of it.
Yeah. But
But
Oren is putting in the work.
yes, and it doesn't really say how long it's been since they had that one talk
No.
where they filled her in on everything, but it's been at least a few days.
Yeah.
So, she's able to control her magic, she's able to control the gold, and she's thinking about a point where she doesn't even have to wear her gloves anymore.
She's been hiking to the cave, so she's staying away from people because she still wants to respect boundaries, right?
Mhm,
But she is, yeah, like you said, she can call back the gold, which means she can ungild whatever she gilded, which has
mhm.
to be a huge relief from her or for
Stuff. Thinking about
everything.
stuff.
Yeah.
And she has that moment where she realizes during this that she can't create new gold at night, which is kind of a relief to her because
Yeah.
she still has that little bit of fear that maybe she'll accidentally gild Slade while they're
Right.
sleeping.
Right.
How awkward would that be?
Sorry, babe. Didn't mean to gild you,
Yeah. Whoops.
but you're finally hard. Proud of you. Yes. So she's not being able to create new gold at night
Mhm.
is a huge relief for her,
And
but she can control gold that already exists at night.
and she can control her gold during the day.
Mhm.
So she's realizing she doesn't have to always be leaking gold.
Yep.
Yes, I said leaking. Yes, I feel gross.
But that's the
But
phrase
it
that
is
Ray
what it is.
uses, and, like and yeah, how else do you describe that?
Yeah.
Is yeah.
And she really wants to be able to not only control the gold, but completely ungild
Yes.
something because she can do it to a point,
That's
but
true.
not
She
fully yet.
cannot completely ungild something, so if she
Yeah.
accidentally gilded another person,
She can't fix that
she
yet.
can't fix that. Whereas Slade can rot a person, and up to a certain point in time, he can unrot them.
Yes.
And I think a lot of that point in time is just when they naturally die, he can't bring back someone from the dead.
Right.
So,
He can only do so much.
right.
So she's constantly her mantra right now is this is my power, I control it.
Mhm. That is how she's getting through the days.
And in this specific chapter, she finally does ungild something.
I think this is the
A
chapter where
rock
she
maybe?
it's something non-sentient, yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is the chapter where she also finally acknowledges that her power is not a curse, but a gift.
Yes. It's also the best chapter because she tells Slade that he's not a good kisser.
Forgot about that.
Yeah. She gains enough control of her power to ungild something and she's celebrating and he is celebrating with her.
Because he's good supportive boyfriend.
Yes. And she gets up and he stands up and puts his hands on both sides of her face, outside, not touching, by the
Yeah.
way, and leans in for a kiss. And she's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Ha ha. It's daytime, buddy. What the fuck are you doing?
Have we not been through this before? What are you
Yeah.
thinking?
We don't do this during the daytime. And he's like, nope, I'm gonna kiss you. You
I'm
have
gonna
control.
I'm gonna risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah. You have control. Let's just do this. And she's like, I don't think that's it. Nope.
It's a bad
And
idea.
he's like, "You just proved that you can ungild stuff." She's like, "Yes, I've done it once. One time."
To a
And
fucking rock.
and that's a lot of faith and pressure. No, thank you. And he's given her the look and, the look that makes her turn to goo, and he's like, "You wanna kiss me?" And she's all like, "You have bad form." "No, I don't."
Actually, you're a terrible kisser, and I never wanna kiss you again.
Yeah, especially not at night, or during
Yeah,
the day. Let's just wait
right.
until the nighttime.
Yeah.
Let's keep it fun.
Let's wait till the nighttime when it's dark out and I can't see you. But spoiler, they do end up making out.
They do. I'm so proud of her for finally giving in.
Oh, I was gonna say for not gilding him, but yeah, that too.
I mean, yeah, she also doesn't gild him, which is a super proud moment, but she kisses him, and then the realization that, "Ooh, we could do other things during the day now that I don't gild you." Huh.
Huh. And Slade is like, we should take advantage of this thought process right meow.
Mhm.
And he drags her back to the grotto. Not drags like by her hair, caveman style, but is
No,
like
they're, like, running,
they're
giggling.
rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're they're in love teenagers.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they burst through the door because it's his house.
Mhm.
And the entire wrath is like, hey, we're gonna cock block you.
"Sup, guys?"
And no one is smiling. No one is happy for them. No one is acknowledging what Oren just did or that they're touching or anything.
Nope.
Nope. And instead, Riot, being the fucking brother that he is,
He is the bearer of bad news.
yeah,
Poor guy.
I know. But he lets us know that Queen
Kalia.
Kalia
Yep.
has sent her brother and he'll be here in 2 days. And by
He'll
here, I think they
he
mean the
means 4th
castle.
Kingdom, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, they're out of time.
And this whole book, Oren and Slade have been talking about time. They just
Mhm.
need time. Time for Oren to get her feet under her. Time for Oren to acknowledge everything and process everything and time to go over everything that's happening. They just need time, which I'm going to say is another Throne of Glass throwback because that's what Selena says in Empire of Storms is she just needs more time
Mhm.
and then they run out of time.
They definitely run out of time.
But anyway, Oren and Slade haven't had an anniversary yet, and they might not because Queen Kalia is sending her brother probably to drag Oren back for the conflicts.
Yes.
Yeah. And the Wrath is like, we're out of time, guys.
Yep.
It's time for Oren to shit or get off the pot, I guess.
And now we're going into chapter 42.
Still in Oren's POV.
Yep, for at least one more chapter.
Yeah.
So, this is "Oh, we've gotta get shit together, let's get planning, let's get going." Unfortunately, it's time to go back to reality.
So this is like the last day of vacation kind of scramble, right? Where
Yes.
you're like, well, we have a plane to catch tomorrow. We still haven't done X, Y, and Z in this
Mhm.
beautiful exotic place that we went to, like Pennsylvania. So let's get all the museums we want out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So, they're getting everything together, they're talking about how many timberwings they need. Of course, Riot and Slade have an argument,
they're siblings. That's going to
and
happen.
during the argument, it's decided that Riot, instead of going to Brackwell with everyone, is going to take Hojat and go back to the army
Well, because
because
again, he's supposed to be
their
Commander Rib.
commander
Yep,
and 2/3 of their generals have abandoned them because Judd and Lou
yep,
are here,
yep.
and he really needs to go and boost some morale because he's betting that it's down right now.
And I don't think anybody blames the soldiers. I think this is just
No,
them acknowledging, like, okay, since reality is coming crashing down, let's acknowledge it and disperse everyone to their best battle stations.
exactly, and Hojat has declared Digby for travel whether he wants it or not because Digby's like, "I go with her."
Digby is still full on night mode. He is going with Oren. He
Mhm,
doesn't really care what Hojat has to say. He doesn't care what
mm-mm.
anyone has to say. He is protecting Oren, and it's not in a creepy way. Like, I know as we talk about it,
It sounds a
taken out
little
of
weird,
it sounds a little
but
weird because he's
it's
so much
not, guys.
older, but it's knight and princess kind of vibes.
It's like night protector mode, not
Yeah,
creepy.
serial killer mode.
or you stand up first and walk ahead of me mode, because that's also creepy.
So Digby is going with Orin no
Mhm,
matter what. So Hojat needs to do whatever Hojat needs to do to make
mhm,
it okay. And Hojat is not happy about it,
mhm.
but he does it because even Hojat knows a losing battle when he sees one.
Yeah, and they decide that if they leave today and they fly nonstop as much as they can get to Brackwell, which is Fourth Kingdom's castle, within a day of Manu getting there.
So they'll have time to settle in, get everything situated, and strategize before Manu gets there.
They hope,
That's
but
fair. They hope.
because 'cause they're like, "We can get there in 4 days." Manu's supposed to be there in 2,
Yeah.
but they're hoping that there's delays,
Well, I
and
mean,
honestly,
weather.
his
Yeah.
advisors can delay him too,
Mhm.
and
And we haven't met. I know we've talked a lot about, Slade's advisors, but we, as readers, we have not
Mhm,
met them yet, so we don't know anything about them.
right.
But they are great people, despite me being like, "It seems a little sus."
I like them, they're good people.
I just it would be very easy for them to take advantage of Slade.
It would be.
And see, this is why I don't trust my flag system because I raised a red flag with them, but I didn't with Midas, so
Speaking of red flags, let's go back to the fight with Riot and Slade about where Slade's
yes.
going,
Yes.
because Orin kinda catches on to something here. She's like, "Does he not like being fake Rip?"
Well, once again, no one has asked him what he wants to be when he grows up.
We're gonna find that out in this chapter is
Yeah.
where we find that out, 'cause, she's like, "Does he not like this?" And everybody's like, "Well, not anymore. He used to, but he's starting to resent that he can't be himself." And they get she gets a little bit of the backstory of why Rip why there is a Commander Rip and also King
King Rat.
Ravenger,
Yeah.
because he started off working in the army. There was a sign-on bonus, and he was able to send that money to Drollard Village,
Yep.
and he moved up in the ranks super fast, and then as he moved up becoming Commander Rip, he also became King Ravenger.
Yeah, and so all of a sudden he has to be in 2 places at once.
Yes.
And, "Oh, look, I have a brother who's not a twin, but
Mhm.
might as well be a twin."
Once Rip's reputation
Mhm.
was established, Riot would
Was
stand
able to
in.
step in.
Yeah, because at that point, he was kind of a figurehead.
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
he was still a vicious fighter, but
yeah, Riot could hold his own, for sure. We're
exactly.
not discounting his fighting style, but Riot couldn't shift, he didn't have the spikes,
Right.
he's not Fae, he's 100% Orion. But again, Riot has this more attachment to the army than
Mhm.
Slade does. Again, not that they don't both care for the army, but Slade has to think like a king, and Riot can think like a commander.
Right.
I think Riot just hates playing the double life.
Yeah, and
I think
Orin.
Go ahead.
Nope. Nope, I interrupted you, go ahead. You think?
I was gonna say, I think if Riot had a choice, I think he would be in the army 100% of the time. I think it's the fact that he has to play both sides. That's exhausting.
And Orin asks Judd, Lou, and Slade, "What does Riot want to do?"
Blank looks. No one has
Completely blank
asked.
looks. And she just stares at them and goes, "No one has ever asked him?" And they all give this look like,
Like, they're
"Huh,
embarrassed, and they
well, yeah."
should be. Like, they all just kind of followed King Rot's steps, which makes sense. He is the king.
Mhm.
They all respect him. They're all following him as a person, right? So, like, if King Rot went to Second Kingdom and took over Second Kingdom, they would all follow to Second Kingdom.
They would,
They
yes.
would. That's just what it is. And so they all kind
Mhm.
of followed the scheme that he concocted. And again, at one point, I do think Riot was okay with it. And then just as time went on, he just kind of got tired of it and no one revisited.
I think that anyone would get tired of having to pretend
I'm not
all the
judging
time.
Riot.
Like, I mean,
100%.
I judge him for the toddler size fits that he sometimes pitches, but for his anger with this, I absolutely don't. It's
Yeah.
justified.
It 100% is justified. As an eldest, I do not get the fits. I mean, They don't even know.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Let me fix my eyebrow.
the eyebrows a paid actress. Uh, but so they all have their marching orders, right?
They
And
do.
before Riot leaves, before he storms out of the cave, he says, "Don't you dare leave without saying goodbye to mom," and
Yeah.
slams the door. So Riot's loyalty, it is with Slade, but
Yes.
he doesn't forget his mom, the soldiers, etc. And again,
I
I'm not saying that Slade does either,
I actually think if he had his way, he would spend most of his time in Drawlard Village.
which I think as being a captain of the army, he would be able to.
Yeah.
And I think, well, I know for a fact we see that later come up where Slade
Mhm.
offers that up to him. But I think it was this conversation with Oren where she's like, "Has anyone
What?
fucking talked to him? Has anyone done a semi-yearly review with him to see what's going on?"
So Orin and Slade have to not only say goodbye to his mother,
Mhm.
but there's something that he has to do with the rip, and
Yes.
Lou says, "Don't do too much this time." And Orin's like, "The fuck is
Too
he
much
talking?
what?
Too much
I
what?"
was just included and now I feel like I'm out of the loop.
Again. So they go into the cave where his mother's cottage and the rip are, and they stop to see his mom because
He's gotta say goodbye.
he's gotta yeah, he has to say bye, and Orin has a moment where she's like, "I'm gonna miss this place feels like home," which, okay, she's been there for, like, 3 weeks, but it's probably the most peaceful place she's ever been.
It's she's not running for her life, she's not having to, like, put out for anyone she doesn't wanna put out for, she's not
Mhm.
having to collect coins, she's not having to, like, pretend anything, she could
Yeah,
rest and heal, and for the first time, she didn't have to run. She
and
could
that
just sit for a minute.
and I think that's what he wanted for her, is just to have a moment to catch her breath.
Yeah, get her feet under her.
Yes.
And it sucks that her time was cut short. I'm a little convinced that if it wasn't, Oren would never have moved on.
Nope, I don't think she would have either.
Given her history, it would have been at least 10 years before she'd moved on. Maybe 5, but still,
Maybe.
she yeah.
And so they have to go he has to explain to her what happened with the rip and how
So
he has to feed it.
yeah, so we know the backstory, right? Like, he created the rip in a moment of anger and frustration and probably terror, I
Mhm,
would say, of his dad, and so now every time he leaves, he has to, quote, unquote, "feed the rip."
mhm,
So he has to pour some of his raw, unfiltered power into this rip in the
yeah,
world.
and it can't be his rotting power.
Mm-mm,
It
it's
has
gotta
to be
be raw power. Yep, and we also learn that the villagers are anchored to this rip. So,
yes,
like, if he doesn't do it, bad things happen to the villagers.
like they'll die,
Well, and villagers that have tried to leave Drollard Village.
have also died. The ones that were in Anwen,
Yes.
at least,
So it has been discovered that the children who are born in the village can leave and be fine,
if you get them out fast enough.
which is why he takes them into his army. So that's
Twig.
what we talked about last episode,
Mhm,
is it sounds sketchy that he's taking these people into his army, these kids, because they're
mhm.
kids. He's taking these, like, 13-year-olds into his army.
Twig's like 10.
Well, okay, so let's think about this. Most power come into play at, like, 15, but they're all Oriens, so there would be no
Mhm,
power. But I
potentially,
but I think he doesn't want them to get too dependent on
physically
the rib.
attached.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Twig is, like, 10, and he's already in the army, and granted, he's, like, a grunt, right? Like, he's just doing
He's like a what you'd call a page,
yeah, a
somebody who
squire,
catches them.
yeah, 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 like, he's a helpful messenger.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Not
um,
dangerous,
yeah,
not dangerous, but anything within the army itself,
yeah,
he does.
and so on the surface level, hearing that King Rot rips these 10-year-olds from their homes to go into the army sounds terrible, right? But when you learn this
Mhm.
backstory, you're like, "Well, shit. Okay. I kinda get where he's coming from." which is just a gentle reminder to us readers that not everything we learn or see is surface level,
Mhm.
right? And we should dig deeper to find out why someone is doing what they're doing. Sometimes someone is doing something because they're a shitty person. Sometimes it's for another reason that we don't even think about.
Right. So, oh, he kind of gives her a little backstory about what happened right after they landed in Oria,
Yes.
after the rip, where, they're all sick for a while. And I mean, this was not exactly the best place in the world for them to turn up.
No.
But
It's cold, it's a mountain village, it's yeah,
on the plus side, no one else was here to see it.
that's fair.
So I
Yeah.
guess that would be his bright side.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's not like they landed in the middle of Omaha where everyone would be like,
What the
"What
fuck?
the fuck is happening?"
And then people would just suddenly start trying to dive into the rip
Yeah,
and,
because
well,
yeah,
die.
yeah,
So he tells her about how they found a flock of wild timberwings and how he was able to tame them
because he's got
and
a way with animals. He
away with
really
birds
does.
specifically.
Yes.
And it was Argo's mother that he first tamed, and she helped him hunt and take
Mhm.
care of everybody. They go see his mom, and they talk about how, for a 15-year-old, this was a lot of,
Pressure.
like, responsibility
Mhm.
to take care of these people, and now there's a lot of anger toward him because, 1, they're stuck here, they can't go back through the rip.
They can't go back through the rip, they can't leave the mountain, they have to stay where they're at.
Exactly, or they'll die. Both Riot and Rip can leave.
Okay, so I have a question about this. Like, I know that a handful of villagers left and died,
Mhm.
and that's why they were just like, "Nope, no one's leaving, we're calling it, whatever."
Right.
But, like, at one point, people who immigrated and took over the hostile takeover of North America thought that tomatoes were poisonous because one person ate a tomato and they were allergic to tomatoes. So, is it possible that some people could leave if they had, like, a drop of magic in them? Like, maybe
I wondered that too because there are a few people that have magic,
yeah,
but they don't leave, and I don't know if it's because they stay close to the rip because of the comfort from the feeling that they get.
or they don't wanna leave because they don't wanna risk it, or
Exactly.
yeah. I wonder if we find that out in Goldfinch.
Maybe we need to get reading,
Listen,
but
I'm busy reading Germanic fan fiction now.
that's fine. But they get in to see his mom, and she's
Mhm.
still very happy to see them, still doesn't talk. She sits him down, she sits Orin down, and she starts packing a little,
Picnic basket,
picnic
charcuterie
basket kind of
board,
thing.
yeah,
And she knows that they're leaving because that's probably the only reason that Slade showed up. And the look on his face just tells her because she's
yeah.
pretty
Sh
perceptive.
Well, she's his mom, so I can't keep secrets from my mom.
All right. I really like, though, that Orin takes a minute to look at her bookshelf. And I want to know what's on Alora's bookshelf.
I do
They
too.
don't cover that,
They don't, it's not mentioned at all, just that she looks at the bookshelf.
but I need to know.
I wonder if it's like Anwin fairy tales or like Oria fairy tales, you know what I mean? Like, if it's
Yeah. Because if,
cookbooks or
oh, I
what.
bet she has a lot of cookbooks or
Yeah.
family histories.
Yeah,
I was
something.
was thinking about this too. I know that I've said before that Slade is full of shit and he has no idea who Orin really is. But my realization hit that he was only 15 when he left.
Mhm.
Maybe he doesn't.
Well, do we know how far apart they are in age?
We don't.
'Cause, like, Feyre and Rhysand are, like, I don't know, 300 years apart,
500 years
give
apart,
or take,
something like.
right, yeah.
We don't know what their age difference is, which is fine with me. I don't need to know their age difference. But I just wonder if he ever heard about her family
Which is
because I
he
feel
was
like she was already gone when he was growing up. There was a different king because
well, he hired the Breaker to break the
yeah,
world.
I'm sorry, the bridge to Lemuria, the
Yeah.
Lemurian bridge. But that king did that and it wasn't her father.
Okay, to Oria, though.
So Oria,
Okay, so let's talk about your theory some more, though, with the
okay.
age gap and everything. So and because Rip, Slade whatever you wanna call him, obviously grew up in a very important household, right?
Yes.
Like, Stanton was one of the higher ups. He had a bunch of slaves, servants, whatever you wanna call them, slaves, and the fact that he was contracted by the king to break the bridge because he
Mhm.
was the breaker and he was very powerful, it would make sense to me that he would have at least heard rumors
Yeah,
about
of her
her.
family.
Yeah, I think we find out about them in Goldfinch. I know we find out a lot more about them in Gold.
Gold.
Yeah, we get a lot more of her family history there.
Well, thankfully, whoever runs the wiki kinda gave up after Glint because it's got information about Glint and then nothing,
You know what? Fair.
and that's the 2nd book.
Although, okay, honestly, okay. So people complain about this series and how it's slow to start and blah blah blah, and it's a terrible series and they can't get into it, and they complain about Throne of Glass and how it's so slow and blah 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 and whatever. And like I was hooked from the first book on both of these series.
I was good on this series. What was the other series?
Throne of Glass. It's
Throne of
always Throne
Oh,
of
yeah.
Glass.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I actually Throne of Glass, and since I read them in the wrong order, depending on who you talk to,
Cause you read
I
did
don't
you read
know.
Assassin's Blade last?
Dead last.
So did I, because that's how Kindle does it.
That's how it's listed in Kindle, so
Yeah.
that's why I read it dead
Well, and,
last.
like, I bought the bundle set or whatever, so,
I
like
do have the bundle set. It's back behind here on the 2nd shelf, but okay.
but this book series.
So, I think that by the time Slade was born, there had been a rebellion. So, since the breaker works with that king and history is written by the winners, not the losers, I don't think Slade was given the education about her family.
If he was given any education, it would have been that this family was dirty, rotten traitors, and you can't
Exactly.
trust them.
Exactly.
But since she probably didn't even remember her family name,
And she doesn't, because he's asked her before.
yeah, and she doesn't know. So, like, how would how would he know who she belongs to? You know,
Exactly.
and, like, is Orion even really her name? I
Oren, you
Orin,
were
what
so close.
it's the wine. It's gold like her.
Yes. So, we're gonna go back to Oren's been staring at the bookshelf. We kinda wonder what's on it, but we
Yes.
don't get to find out. Slade's mom pushes him into a chair, and then she points at the seat next to him and at Oren.
Which is a pretty clear indication of sit your ass down.
Yeah, it really is, and she comes over and sits down, and she pats her on the head. "Good job."
Good girl. Good girl.
And then she bustles over and starts loading up a care package to take with him.
This would not be the first time that Slade has stopped by to say goodbye,
No.
which is very clear with the fact that Allura is packing up a care package and being
Yeah.
like, "You're here to say goodbye."
It's road trip snacks, guys, come on.
Yeah. Beef jerky, dried fruit,
Yeah.
peanuts. Yeah.
And Oren's like, "She doesn't have to do that." And it's like, it doesn't
Just shut up
matter.
and take it.
Just
Yeah.
just accept it. She's got plenty of food." So, and Oren tells her thank you when she brings over the food, and then they grab it, and she gives her a hug and touches her face, and then there's a moment between Slade and his mom where they're, like, looking at each other and telepathically talking, I guess.
Well, you know how it is. Like, you and John can look at each other and, like, have a full-on conversation without saying anything.
So not the point.
You and I can have look at each other and have a full-on
Yeah,
conversation
that's true.
without saying
Okay.
anything.
That's true. So if you've
And
been
s
around someone long enough, I guess,
Yeah, yeah.
fine.
And that is the moment where Oren's finally like, I think it got approval from Slade's mother, and
Mhm.
I didn't realize how much I needed it until that moment. And this is the first time that Oren's been accepted by another woman.
Yeah.
Granted, it's a mom, it's not a competition, but it's still another woman that has
I mean,
accepted her.
mom approval is important
It
for
really
some
is.
people, and or it's so sweet, though.
Yes. I think Oren needed it, whether
Well,
she wanted to admit it or not.
it's the first time she's had any kind of motherly love from
That's
anyone
that she
that
remembers,
she
yes.
remembers. Well,
She
she kind
has
of remembers her own mother,
yeah,
but she's
it's
so disconnected from that.
well, and it's flitting memories, right? Like, it's just like, "Oh, I remember my mom calling me her little sunshine,"
Yeah.
or She doesn't remember anything specific about, like, what her mom looks like or her voice or
Mm-mm.
anything like that. It's those random, like, wisps of memory that
Right.
she has
And then we go to chapter 43, the last well, not the last orange chapter in our series, but
of this
of this
no, we have
long
I think.
set. We
We have
have
one
I
we
think
have friend.
we get a Melina break and then we go back to orange, so
Yes. Okay, so,
but
chapter 43,
yes.
Orin and Rip are approaching the Rip so that
Yes,
Slade can feed the Rip some raw power to kinda, like, tide it over for a little bit.
because he's already told her that he has to do this every once in a while or bad things
Mhm.
happen.
Yes, and it's bad things like people dying, bad
Mhm.
things. It's not like yeah, "I had to feed it that raw power my father and I made when we clashed," is the
Yep,
exact quote to explain it. So
and
it's not the rot magic, it's raw magic,
mhm, which is
and
draining for Slade.
it's super draining, which is why, Lou was like, "Don't overdo it this time.
Mhm.
Keep it under control.
And this is why we find out that this is why he comes here fairly regularly. He has to feed it every, I don't know, 6, 8 weeks.
Give or take." I think it kinda depends on how much he gives it in the initial feeding. So, Slade has to feed his raw power to this Rip, and then
Yes.
he also has to disperse of his rot power later on. And Orin is watching him feed
Mhm.
this Rip in the world, and she sees his aura fade for the first time. This is the first time that we see her acknowledge his aura and that it's fading,
Mhm.
and his whole body is shaking, and Orin is freaking out.
Yeah, she tries to jump in there and get him to stop, but it's literally the power is pushing her back. It's repelling her from
Mhm.
Slade, so she has to fight her way to him, and I think the only reason that he stops is because she accidentally gets cut.
Yeah, I think it's he smells or scents her blood,
Mhm.
and he is devastated that he hurt her,
It wasn't his fault. It was purely accidental.
which is something Midas would say.
But this one's true, okay? This is in this specific situation, it's true.
It is true, and the fact that he's immediately remorseful and it's
Mhm.
a legitimate remorse is a huge difference between Midas being like, "Slice, oh, I cut you, I'm so sorry, my bad. How can I use this to my advantage?" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Slay like, Orin says, "You hurt me." I don't think she even says, "You hurt me."
No.
And Slade is just immediately like, "Oh my god, I'm so sorry."
Yeah. "Are you okay? I'm so sorry. Do you need to sit down?" No, she asks him if he needs to sit down
Yeah.
because he was putting everything in this because he knew it was gonna be a while,
Well, and it's raw power. It's not
and
just as
he lost control, like, he was gonna give it everything. He was on his way to burnout.
yep.
And she can't have him do that right now.
Well, no, because they still have to go to Fourth Kingdom, and they need to
Mhm.
get there within 2 days.
And so he says, "I hurt you," and she's like, "It's barely even a scratch. You didn't. It's my fault anyway."
As the youth would say, "It's Gucci."
Okay. Okie dokie smoky.
Okie smoky.
So after that, they kinda start tottering together out because he's really leaning on her because this
And
really
she's
drained him.
struggling to hold his weight because he's a 6-foot
6 giant
fey
man,
giant. Yeah.
and she's like, what, 5'7"?
Yeah, she's curvy. She has an hourglass
Oh, okay.
figure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But he's like, "Are you ready? Let's go."
"Are you ready? Are you ready to leave Drollard?" is what she asks.
Yeah.
And they do. They end up leaving Drollard. Yeah. And this is just another reminder of, like, Slade's constant sacrifice. So we talked a lot about, like, how Riot is in tune with the soldiers
Mhm.
and in tune with the I don't wanna say the people, but, like, in tune with the army and taking care of the army. But this is just a peek into, like, the sacrifices that Slade makes under the radar.
Mhm.
Right, like, the Wrath know about it, and his mom probably knows about it, but no one else probably does.
Yeah.
And I think it's it is very telling of this man to be like, "This is something I need to do. I don't want everyone knowing about it." And he just does it without being like, "Hey guys, I have to give you power so you can live." Like, because Midas would definitely be like, "Without my power, you can't live here."
Mm.
So, that's just another stark reminder about the difference between the 2 men that
Yeah, I
we're reading
agree.
about. Yeah. Anything else we wanna chat about? 43?
No, not right now.
Let's get to Queen Melina's.
Yay, your favorite.
I love Queen Melina. Okay, and I get it. She's kind of a bitch. She's an absolute bitch. Like, she is super bitchy. But I love Queen Melina, and she is just a woman trying to find her way in the world.
She is, and she's a powerless woman
She
trying to
is
find her way in a world
yes,
where she knows that no one gives a shit about her.
because she has no
No
power.
power.
Yeah. So, I love Queen Melina. I will
This was
always be a Queen Melina stan.
but this was a weird chapter,
This
okay?
was a weird
Because,
chapter.
guys, I don't know if you've read the chapters with us about Queen Melina,
You should. We're talking spoiler the
but
whole episode is
she's
spoilers.
always angry.
Always.
Always angry.
And her anger is
Something is
always
wrong.
described as cold.
Something is wrong. Someone has wronged her. She
Someone
feels
did something
personally
wrong.
slighted.
Yep.
And this opens to her being in such a good mood and how
Which
wonderful
is
everything is.
such a stark contrast compared to what we've known, right? Because again, every other chapter, with the exception of maybe one where she was fucking Geo, has been her in a bad mood.
Mhm.
And I think even the one with the her fucking Geo, she ended in a bad mood.
Yes, she did.
Yeah. So she is my queen is a very particular lady, and she likes things in a very particular way.
She does. Which is why this just jumps out as red flag. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger, Will Robinson.
Yeah.
Why is
Says
she
the
in such a good mood?
again, smooth brain, not a bump or a lump to catch any thought.
All right.
Just here for the vibes. Anyway, chapter 44, Queen Melina. She is vibing. Queen Melina
Mhm.
is living her best life for the first time since we've met her. The castle is cozy, the flowers are fragrant, there's always music playing, the food is always hot, and they're in the Seventh Kingdom and perfectly seasoned. And they're in the Seventh Kingdom, which is like Antarctica, basically, is how I
Yeah.
pictured it. Like it's just supposed to be a frozen tundra of land. Um, and again, Jen is over here running by with the red flag, just feel like something is wrong, guy.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
And I'm just like, "Oh, shit, we finally got what the queen deserves. Finally." But Queen Melina is finally feeling healed and beautiful and powerful, and she's vibing. Our queen is like
Mhm.
finally living her best life. I don't think she's like processed the trauma that she just went through with like
Uh-uh.
escaping Six Kingdom and traveling through the cold tundra and all of that, but she is replacing it with vibes.
Well, and there are even points where it's talking about as she's getting ready and her hair is such a is so wonderful and her skin is perfect now. And she's looking in a mirror and instead of seeing herself, she sees Geo's face and she knows she should be sad or upset that he died. But that feeling is immediately replaced by what a good man he gave himself up for me.
Yeah, I chalk that up to trauma.
I saw it as
I saw it as a red flag.
that was a that was a big bold red flag for me.
Now we write that off to trauma.
So that was just trauma? Okay, my bad.
My bad, my bad.
Um,
But she is so Queen Melina is, like, entrenched, right,
mhm,
in the Seventh Kingdom. She's like, "Finally, someone recognizes me for the queen that I am.
mhm,
I finally get to rule a kingdom even without quote unquote power. Someone recognizes my value," which her whole life she has been devalued because she doesn't have power.
mhm.
Like, okay, yes, she was a princess, but a powerless princess. So she doesn't really mean anything to any man in her life.
Mhm.
So, I think that, like, if I was Queen Melina, I would totally just ignore all the red flags too.
Yeah. Well, and then the twins show up,
Fucking twins. That's my new
and
drinking game. It's fucking twins.
so they show her this arboretum? Is that the right word? Where flowers and plants are?
I know what you're talking about. A
Good
greenhouse?
morning, your majesty.
Can we call it a greenhouse?
It's not the atrium, that's what it is. They take her into an atrium that's a place that's filled with flowers and plants and stuff, um, so that they can have a conversation about what's gonna need to happen.
What is gonna need to happen?
So apparently, in order for their magic to restore the 7th kingdom
Mhm, mhm,
and
mhm.
give her power, it's gonna require a little sacrifice,
A smidge
a
bit, a
teeny tiny.
like a
Nothing.
pinprick. You're just pricking your finger on the wheel of time
It's nothing major. We just need you to agree to do this and give us some of your blood. It's fine, guys. There's nothing wrong with this, but it has to happen under a new moon, which is coming up.
which okay,
So, if you could just agree to that
that'd be great.
while you're sitting here in this arboretum filled with all these wonderful night flowers that smell amazing. By the way, take a big deep sniff and breathe it in.
It's great. But
And
it's okay, but, like, I get it. I get where she's coming from.
yeah,
Like, how many times have you signed over terms and conditions without actually reading the terms and conditions?
way less now that I work where I work. But yes, when I was younger, there was no reading involved in anything. But this is for Melina.
Yes.
This is actually what she wants. She wants
Mhm.
the power. She wants to be respected. She wants to be the strongest queen
Without
in all
having
of
any
Oria.
power. Yep. Yep.
That is actually what her deepest desire was.
To be the strongest queen.
Yes.
So she's flashing back to, like, her father's disappointment of her not having any power and, like, her advisor's everyone's
Mhm.
disappointment and her being like, "Well, you were supposed to be super powerful, but fuck you, I guess.
I guess.
I guess."
And so she does agree to it because they tell her she's the queen that will raise the 7th kingdom to glory. You
Okay,
and no one else.
let's
I mean,
think about this from her
that's
point of
gotta
view.
be like a serious that had to make her feel good.
Exactly. That would be like the car salesman being like, "I'll give you the seal and no one else." You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's shady. Like, they tell you exactly what you wanna hear. That's what salesmen do, and these twins and Pruin
friend.
Pruin are just they're just salesmen, and they're using Melina to get what they want.
Well, and, she's like, "What do you need me to do?" And both of the twins stand up and they hold out their hands and they say, "All you need to do is agree." So she takes their hands
Without reading the terms and conditions.
and agrees, and Pruin's like, "The bargain is struck." I feel like that's some kind of star,
Yeah, like, I expected some, like, lightning bolts to come down
right?
or, like
Like some kind of
the world
celestial
to shake,
acknowledgement.
saying yeah. I don't know if that's our Zodiac Academy trauma or what, but Perrin specifically says my magic is never wrong in this
Mhm.
chapter when he's talking about I think they're trying to convince Melina into signing away
Oh, yeah.
her life. Yeah,
And
all she has to do is say is yes.
the whole time this is all happening, like, her entire day, she sees this mist kind of building up in different areas and just kind of ignores it. So she's walking back to her room after this agreement, and she feels amazing.
Well,
And
she just
she's
signed a great contract
yeah, she's gonna go celebrate in her room and eat lunch there, and the mist shows up again, and she's like, "Weird that it's coming through like this."
weird, but
And
whatever.
what is the mist?
What is the mist, Jen? I'm sure you knew what it was right away.
I didn't actually. So there.
Yeah. Anyway, so you did
Anyway,
not know what the mist was.
I wasn't 100% sure, but, we hadn't talked about him very much.
No, and all we knew about him was that he was an assassin
Yeah.
who could turn into mist. Literally, like, full stop,
Mhm.
that is what we knew about him. I do we even know his name? I don't
Hood.
remember.
We
Hood.
know it's Hood.
Yeah. Okay. And he killed Geo.
Yes, we knew that too.
Yeah. So full stop. That's what we know about Hood. So you did not think the mist was Hood
I
right
didn't know
away.
what the mist was. I just knew shit was weird in this place.
There were red flags all over the place,
Yeah,
and no one was paying attention to them.
and so Hood is the first green flag we see in this entire chapter,
Yes, because Hood actually gives a shit about Melina.
which is weird since his job is to murder her.
They're fated mates. I don't know that for sure,
I
but
don't
I'm
know
going
that,
with it.
but
Um,
yeah, he shows up in the middle of the mist, and she stares at him, and she's like, "You killed Geo and tried to kill me," and he's like, "Uh-huh. Yep. By the way,
correct.
I don't know if you know this, ma'am, but shit's fucking weird here."
Have you not seen? So you are Hood. You'd be the person who's like, look at all of these red flags. Like,
Do
have
you
a PowerPoint of all the red flags.
do you not feel the magic in the air?
Well, and that's just it. Melina hasn't questioned anything. She saw a castle that she wanted to see. She's seen the food. She's felt the warmth. She's felt full and like cared
Yeah.
for. And that's everything that she has wanted.
Yes. And so she's like, "Why would I question any of this?" And he
I am a queen after all.
I picture him in his mind shaking her and, like, slapping her across the face.
I'm a little surprised he didn't at least shake her.
I am too.
I think deep down, Hood is the man who does not hit women. I think he'll
Yeah.
kill them, but I don't think he'll hit them.
That's a strange line, but it is a fine line to
It's a
stay in.
line.
I get that. It is a line.
Like, I think if the money's right, he will kill a woman, but I do not think
Yeah.
he would hit a woman. So I'm a little surprised he didn't just shake her and be like, "The fuck do you think is happening,
Yeah.
girl?" Like,
I love
the
his
fuck?
line of "Wake up and don't smell the flowers," because that's the opposite of what people tell you. They're like,
Yeah,
"Stop and
wake
smell
up
the
and smell the
roses,"
coffee.
and he's like, "Don't trust anyone. No
Well,
one here."
like, let's think about all the fairy books that we've ever read ever. It's
Yeah.
always you can't trust the fae. You can't drink their wine, you can't eat their food, you can't trust them. They'll talk circles around you, and the
Mhm.
promises they make, there'll always be a loophole.
And anytime you make an agreement, it doesn't land the way you want it to.
And then, like, depending on the book you've read, you have the Seelie and the Unseelie court, and, like, we can do a whole episode on that. But anyway, yes, the point is, in this book, you cannot trust the fae
Yeah.
for Melina.
And he even tells her, "I don't know what bargain you've made, but I don't even think your death is enough to stop it."
Hood knows what's up. Hood is that street savvy friend that, like, you go to a club with, and he's like, "No, we need to leave right now."
Yeah. We won't be drinking those drinks
Yeah.
or
Or, like,
anything
you're at a house party, and 3 people show up, and he's like, "We're leaving
now.
now." And then you look in the paper, and there's, like, a shootout in that party,
Yeah.
and you're like, "Oh, cool. Thanks, Hood. Appreciate you."
Mhm.
Hood has been through some shit, and Hood knows what's up.
Yeah.
Not that I'm happy for Hood, but Hood is the friend that we all need.
And so what does Queen Melina do
Ignores him
to thank
because
him for all of this?
he's a lowly assassin. He doesn't know what's up.
She just ignores him and screams for help,
And
and
he's a mist. He can like his
yeah.
power is that he can turn into a shadow or a mist figure and
Yeah.
like completely disappear.
And Melina's just like, he doesn't want me to get power. He doesn't want me to be as strong as Midas or stronger than Midas.
He's just a typical man.
It was a nice twist that Hood was trying to warn her about the
Yes.
danger that she's in, because if your assassin is trying to warn you of the danger that you're in,
That's kind of a big red flag.
something is wrong, guys.
Listen, Jen, I find the red flags when I want to find the red flags.
That's
All
fair.
right?
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was thinking.
Anyway, chapter 45.
Chapter 45, we're back to Orin,
Of course we are.
and our butts are frozen.
Yeah. Yeah. Orin is they are traveling from Drollard Village to the castle,
Yes.
and it is fucking cold.
It's cold, they're miserable. Well,
And
they're
they're
not super miserable, but it's really cold
and they're flying, and
and
it's
they're
not
on a time
comfortable.
schedule. They have to get there.
And yeah, Orin is used to Six Village, which is cold, but
Mhm.
she's not used to traveling,
No.
especially at a breakneck speed that they are.
Yes. And everybody's keeping an eye on Slade because
He has just dumped a bunch of power both into the rip and to disperse of his rot. So he's in a weakened state compared to what he's normally at.
and they finally break through all the blizzards and the crappy weather, and she's like, "Let me know when we get close," and you can feel it in the air.
It's
It
like
changes.
crossing that state line from Nebraska to Kansas where the roads get smoother and
Huh.
somehow the speed limit increases.
I don't yeah, yeah. It is kinda nice, but, you know, she looks to the ground and all of a sudden she realizes there's no snow. Oh, those are rivers.
The rivers are not frozen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they get to Brack Hill and drop down onto this, like, flat area on the castle.
I pictured it like a helicopter
Yes,
pad, just a
exactly.
big flat area,
Yes.
maybe a big, like, T on it for timber wing instead of an H for helicopter, you
Yeah,
know?
that makes sense. And, so Brack Hill is
King Rot's castle
King Rat's castle, and instead of it being surrounded by a wall or something, it's surrounded by a giant moat
and
on
Rot.
well, on 3/4 of it, and then the back of it is just mountain.
Yeah. Yep.
So
And there's guards up on the roof that anticipate the timber wings,
mhm, and
and
startle her.
yeah, because she does not expect guards to be on the roof,
Yeah,
and why would you? But Fourth Kingdom knows that timber wings are their preferred method of travel,
mhm,
so they're ready.
and they run into a guard, and he's like, "Hey,
"Sup, dude?"
the did Manu get here?" And the guard's like, "Yep, yep, he's here." And then
It does suck that they were not able to beat him, but it's
yeah,
not the end of the world either.
no, and, Digby's like, "Where's my room? Because this has been a long fucking flight."
Well, he's still beat the fuck up, like, he's still
Mhm,
recovering.
and he's tired, and all their butts hurt because 'cause they've been flying, and they just kinda need to stretch their legs, and Slade's like, "Do you wanna tour the castle?" And Orin's like, "I really wanna pee."
Like, I just and an indoor toilet would be great. Yes, and Slade does offer, like, a tour of the castle,
Mhm.
and he takes care of her, and he's everything in the castle is yours. You don't have to ask permission for anything.
Yeah,
Wherever you wanna go, you can go.
which is the opposite of what she's ever heard her entire life.
Yes,
So, that's kind of jarring for her,
yes.
and she goes to the bathroom, he gives her a T-shirt to
Mhm.
sleep in because they've been flying for 3 days, and she's sure she's gross, and her hair's a mess, and
Yeah, all
her
she wants
clothes
is
are
something clean to
yeah,
sleep in.
and she
Yeah,
wants to go pee really bad.
yeah.
Like, I don't blame her because in a car ride,
100.
I don't have to pee every hour, but man, if I drink
Oh,
some soda or something
but
yeah.
so we're talking about Romance Con. We're going to Romance
Oh,
Con in
yes.
September.
September 4th, 5th?
It's the first weekend in September.
Yes.
Um, and we're driving from Nebraska to Wisconsin. And
Yes.
this will actually be my first time in Wisconsin.
Same.
So if you have
I don't
any
think I've ever been to
recommendations, yeah,
Milwaukee or anywhere.
yeah, if you have
Yeah.
any if you have any suggestions in Milwaukee, is that where we're
Yes.
going? In Milwaukee, where we should go, eat, drink, whatever, let us know. Or if you're gonna be at Romance Con, we would love to talk to you.
Yes, please.
Yes, please. But anyway, back to Fourth Kingdom.
And everything in the castle is yours, and
Yes.
finally going potty
Mhm.
and putting on one of Slade's T-shirts to sleep in, which is so boyfriend.
It's
It's such a
such a
boyfriend move.
boyfriend move. Yep.
And she's in the bathroom, she goes to the restroom, she brushes her teeth, she
Cleans up
finds
a
a
little bit.
comb
Yeah,
to comb her hair,
and she gilds it.
and she gilds it, and only it.
Yep, nothing else.
which is huge to her. So she decides that instead of her original thought was she was gonna wear leggings and gloves to sleep,
Maybe
and
not.
she decides she's just gonna wear the t-shirt. So she goes out to tell Slade because she's super excited about it.
He is passed the fuck out.
Yeah, he is done.
He's tired. He's been awake the whole time, like, they've
Yep,
been flying hard. He's tired,
and
and she does not blame him either. She's just like, "Oh, that totally makes sense."
yep. So she crawls into bed with him and tries to give him space. I'm assuming since he's a king, this is gonna be one of those giant ass king beds.
King
Not
size
like
beds,
not
yeah.
like my king size bed or yours, but like
Like, orgy
7
size
or 8
bed.
people fit
Yeah.
in this bed, king size bed, and as soon as she gets in there, he immediately grabs her, pulls her close
In his sleep.
in his sleep. He's still asleep this whole time, and she falls asleep, and he doesn't even wake up.
Nope, this whole
So
time. Yeah.
but so back to this, they're
Anyway,
sleeping,
Slade,
which
yeah.
is really the end of the chapter,
It really is. This is
but
not a big chapter.
no, it's just a quick chapter to let us know that they made it, and, we get to hear Lou's comment about it's you know, "I miss them already," and we find out she's talking about her slippers,
Mhm.
and Oren's like, you could just have the same slippers
It's
here,"
not the same.
and Lou's like, "It's just not the same," and, of course, there's a penis joke
There's gotta be,
because Judd's like,
especially when Judd's around.
"It feels so much better to be here, the warmth versus all the cold in Fifth Kingdom," and she's like, "Well, if you thought shrinkage was because of the cold, I hate to break it to you." So, that was really
Yep.
cute.
Alright, chapter 46,
Yes, the last chapter of this episode, guys.
and this is Slade's POV.
Yay!
Slade wakes up after a restful night's sleep in his own bed. Like, you know what it's like to sleep in your own bed for the first time after a vacation, and you're just
Mhm.
like, "This is what I've been missing?"
This is the best.
Yes. So Slade wakes up and the bed is empty, and he knows for a fact that he brought Orin with him.
Mhm.
He may not remember much else, but he knows for a fact that he brought Orin with him. And
And
so he wakes up and he goes and he finds Lou and Judd, and they're chilling in Judd's room, I think.
now they're chilling in the breakfast area that's next to
Ah,
his
yeah.
room. They have this big formal dining area
Mhm.
that's for,
Visiting
visiting
royalty.
royalty and
Yeah.
shit, and then they have the little dining area, which
Mhm.
is next to Judd's room,
Yep.
and that's where he finds Lou and Judd, and they make fun of him for sleeping in, and he's like, "Hey, has Orin already been in here? Also, by the way, how the fuck is Orin even supposed to know where that is?
Correct.
She did not get a tour last night."
But but she might have just wandered and found them.
True. Not sure how he thinks that's gonna happen, but yeah, true. So then they're like, "Hey, have you seen Digby?" And everybody's like, "No, I haven't checked on him yet." "Okay, let's go." She's probably with
Well, she's
Digby
probably
then.
Digby.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so they go wake up Digby, and he really just dresses Slade down, which is fantastic.
I know. It's so great. And even Judd is like, "I think you just got told off."
And I think I kinda liked it, but because they're like, "Oh my god, we need to go check the kitchens, we need to check the library." Uh,
Everyone freaks out and they're like, "Where the fuck is Orin?
did
We
Manu
need
take
to
her?
do." Yeah, because Manu's already there.
And Digby's just like, "You guys are idiots."
I thought you knew her better.
And after Digby points out to him that they have lived for the last decade in a place where there is no sun, and if you knew anything about Orin, you would know where she is.
You can see the light bulb go off in Slade's head, like, "Oh,
Mhm.
shit. She's probably on the fucking roof."
And there
And
he goes.
she's not only on the roof, she is, like, on the rooftop. So we talked about how, like, there's a flat, like, helicopter pad area for the Timberwings to land. She is, like, on a peak
Mhm.
outside of that. Like, she is as close, as high up as she can get. And she talks about how the sun sings to her.
And BT dubs, she's still in Slade's t-shirt and nothing else.
No, nothing else.
So his guards are hiding inside,
Trying to avoid her.
staring at her. Like, "Fuck, is she gone yet? Is she's damn."
Can't go out yet.
Yeah, and she talks to Slade about the sun singing to her, which I
Mhm.
thought was amazing.
Yes. Well, she hasn't seen the sun in 10 years,
Mhm.
and she's just enjoying the sunlight and hanging out, and poor Slade is struggling so hard not to gouge out his soldiers' eyeballs.
It's not their fault.
It is not their fault, and he knows that,
Yeah.
which is why he does not gouge out their eyeballs.
So,
Hmm.
he finds her, she says the sun's singing of home, and he listens and he says, "But my song of home doesn't come from the sun, mine comes from her." And that is the last line of this chapter.
Yeah, this
That
chapter
is
is
where
all
it
about
ends.
her chilling on the roof, so
Yes.
not a lot happens.
No.
But it is the first time we see Orin, like,
Happy, happy.
basking and happy, and yeah. Yep.
And she's, like, glowing from the sun. It's like the sun has been waiting for her to come and just get it.
Yeah, exactly, just to absorb the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alright, so before we go into our outro, what are you reading?
Okay, so I thought I was gonna be reading Never Keep, and I thought that that was the book that I wanted to read, which is the after book of the Zodiac Academy. So 5 years after Zodiac Academy is that one. Turns out it's not really Never Keep, it's Darkmoor.
Oh, sure.
So, found Darkmoor and started reading it last night, and I'm only, like, 3 or 4 chapters, okay, 8 chapters in, but it's good so far.
Good, good.
And then, of course, I'm still listening to Glow on Audible because 'cause I've already read the book,
Yep.
so I'm just re-listening to it for the podcast, and then my physical book that I'm reading is
Oh,
God's
that's
The
right.
Games Gods
Yeah.
Play by Abigail Owens because it is the book of the month for, the Book Besties group,
How are you liking it
which
so far?
it's not bad so far. I haven't really gotten that far into it because I keep
Yeah.
forgetting that I have it because it's a physical book, and
Yeah.
I'm usually on my Kindle, but I've enjoyed the first couple of chapters,
Good.
so
I enjoyed that. I had to read it, though, I could not listen to the audiobook.
I need to force myself to not use the Kindle and do this because I don't if anybody else has a Kindle, does yours tell you, "You've got the perfect week, you've got the perfect month," you get these little
Yep,
bookmarks,
yep, yep.
and I am such a '80s, '90s kid that
You want those
I need
awards.
those awards,
Yep,
and I just
yep.
can't help myself. So then I forget about the physical books that I have.
Yeah,
It's a problem. I'm working on it. But,
yeah.
what are you reading?
I finished Rose and Chains,
Mhm.
which edged me and did not finish,
And then you read Metal Slinger.
and I just finished Middle Slinger this morning, and it's also an unfinished series. There was some spice in that one, so at least someone finished.
Yay!
Yeah, and that one is really good. I want you to read it to see if you pick up on the twist that I completely missed.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay, I will finish the games gods play and then move to that.
Yeah, add it to your list.
Yes.
Yep. And on that note,
Yeah.
thank you so much for listening to Corks and Cauldron. Be sure to follow us at Corks and Cauldron on all your favorite socials. We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and Threads.
And if you enjoyed this episode, please rate and review us. Share
Yes.
us with your booksties and tell everyone. It's the best way to spread the word and help our podcast grow because Corks and Cauldron is a self-funded labor of love and your support helps keep the magic alive. Join our Patreon community today at patreon.com/corks and cauldron and maybe even treat us to a bottle of wine.
Yes. So if you have any recipes that you want us to try, food or
Mhm.
drink, or if you have any wines you want us to try, let us know. We're totally open to that. Our episodes drop every Thursday, so we'll drop next Thursday and we'll dive deep into chapters 47 through 56.
Ooh. So until then, eat
Drink.
and get lost in a good book.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.